Hey guys, so today what we're going to be doing is learning how to make this pot stand that I've got up, plant stand, sorry, that I've got here. You can see there, it doesn't have acrylic insert, but it ends up looking something like this. All right. Um, so, so what we're going to start off with is I'm going to be starting a new design, sorry. And we're going to be starting a sketch by pressing on the create sketch icon over there. I'm going to be pressing on the top and having that the right way around. First thing we're going to be doing is creating the cross halving joint. So you can see here in the middle, there are some little pieces that actually hold the pot up, okay? So what we're going to do is create a rectangular prism first. And this is going to be 160 millimeters long by 25 millimeters wide. Okay, so we've got our rectangular prism there. We're going to go solid and we're going to go extrude and we're going to extrude that by 15 millimeters. All right, so now we've got one of our pieces. All right, what we're going to quickly do is do the actual cross halving part in there. So I'm going to go create sketch in the middle there. I simply left clicked and then right clicked once it was blue. The beauty of this program is that we've got a halfway point just there, okay? So if we change over to our one centered rectangle, go to there. So we know the two pieces that are going together are going to be the same type. So I can literally just make this 15 tab 25. And I know that that's perfect and it's halfway, etc., etc. So now we're going to go solid and we're going to go extrude. Selecting the top part, we'll do the bottom bit as well. We're going to go cut and we're going to go through all. Let's double check if that's working first. Sometimes it doesn't. There we go. And we'll go okay. All right, so that's cut that out. Now we're going to do a sketch on the end. We'll quickly press OK. We're going to create sketch. All right, so now this is going to be a really simple sketch here. So we're going to use a offset. And this offset is going to be -4. Okay, so we're cutting off 4 millimeters of material around the edge. Okay, so we've got that part there. We're going to go solid again. We're going to go like that. We're going to extrude, sorry. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go cut. I'm going to cut that 10 millimeters. So I want a bit of a different view. So you see how the arrow is going this way. I'll type here -10. And I'll cut that mortise, 10 and out for me. So now I want to go to the other side. Okay, so I'm just using a little cube up the top here to navigate. So left click and then right click. I'm going to do the create sketch again. Rotate this around, left click, right click, and we're going to go, oh, okay, I'm going to have to press OK first. There we go. I think I've done something wrong there, so we're going to sketch again, sorry. I think I was trying to start a new sketch when I was really meaning to make an offset. And this is something that has happened to me previously, so it won't now select it. I don't understand why. I'm going to have to start off with a rectangle first. We'll go 25 tab 15, enter, and then do an offset. -4, enter. All right, so now we're all prepped to do our cut. Okay, so if I go to solid now, extrude, selecting that outside edge, see how I had to actually wait for a little bit, -10, and we've got our piece there. Okay, now one thing that I have quite obviously made a mistake is that I haven't been making new components, so we're going to have to actually leave this one, and now what I'm going to do is go to new component, I'm going to call it cross 2. All right, so we've got our cross 2 down there. So now if I go back up here to the top section and I go to bodies, which is this one. All right, I'm going to do is go copy. And then I'm going to go to cross 2. I'm going to go Control V and paste it. Now I'm going to rotate this copy around. Now the hard thing about this is, so it's easy for me because I've made this project, so I know there's right. Where it gets a bit hard is where get that one. Whoa. Is where the, like, if you need to make a change and you've got this body directly copied from that, if you change that one, I haven't been able to effectively, like, change it and then have it update the other one as well. Really frustratingly. So that is an issue that I've found that I haven't been able to fix. We've got our two pieces here now, and I've just had to rotate that one around so it's the right orientation so they'll fit together. Next step, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to go with joint. I'm going to join that one to that one. And we're going to go OK. So we've got those connected there. So if I press up the top here, they're both going color, etc., etc. So they're all fine. So now we need to make a few new components. So I've selected up the top there. So I get a new component. And we're going to go leg 1. Okay, and then making sure, just like previously, clicking up the top there. Might actually, just so that's got a name, plant stand V2. There you go. That'll work, whatever. Save. Alright, so we've got our plant stand V2. Unfortunately, we've attached that there, but that's okay. And now we're going to keep going through and we're going to just make our 4 legs. Okay, so leg 2. Alright, back to our plant stands. As you can probably guess, there's going to be 4 legs. 3. Okay, and I don't know the dots and then the 1. I don't know. I don't understand that either. So I've got to maybe do a little bit of research into that, why it says that. But that's okay. I'm going to go leg 4. Okay, so now we're going to have 4 legs. All right, we're going to start on leg 1. Make sure you click that little dot there. We're going to look at our top face because that is just how I like to do it. And we're going to do a sketch. We're going to do it on that one. We're going to make a rectangular prism again, and it's going to be 60, tab 300. Okay, so we've got our piece here. We're going to go solid, and we're going to go extrude. And extrude that 15 millimeters. Alright, so as you'll notice, it's the same thickness as the cross halving, so they should fit together flush when you do your mortise and tenon joint. Okay, so now what we actually might do is where the tenon is. So if we look at it from this direction here, alright, and what we're going to do is, I find it easiest to, so I'm going to click on here, and then create sketch. Don't know why I flipped this around, but it did, and that's okay. So we're going to make a rectangle. So basically what this rectangle here is going to do is represent, I don't want to snap it to anything when you type 25. It's just representing the outside of like our piece of timber there. And then what I can simply do is go here, and I can just do a 4mm offset, which didn't work. Sorry, I had to go -4. Okay, so now I can literally just cut that out. But before I do that, I want to actually dictate where along this is. So if I press D for dimension, I'm going to go, I'm going to dimension that line from the top here. And I want to select that whole line. There we go. You can see that it's a random number, so we can say that we want it to be 150 to the top. Which you'll notice, so when this is actually sitting, it is the very top of the wooden platform the pot's going to sit on. It's going to be exactly halfway down that 300mm piece there. So I'm going to right click and press cancel, and I'm going to go solid, extrude. I'm going to do that one, and we're going to make it cut, and we're going to make it 10, -10. And let's just see that's going the right way. And that's it. Alright, so we've cut that out now. Now what we're going to do is do a little bit of shaping to take a little bit of the weight, say, out of the leg. Okay, you see me looking over, I'm like, yep, that's about right what we're going to do. So yeah, if I click on the side here, and I'm going to right click and go create sketch. Alright, so I'm always working from the middle point, which is the beauty of this little snap to there. And for this, we're going to go, what I might do first is just dictate quickly. So the bottom one's probably the easiest. I'm going to get up 100. And then when I use the line tool, I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to let it snap to the middle. And then I'm going to do one last one there, because remember, we need to completely enclose our shape before we can cut it out. So now I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down 150. And then using my line tool, I'm going to go into the middle. Obviously, the quick selection for line tool is L. So there we go. So we're going to cut these out now. And it's just going to take a little bit of weight out of this so it's not just big blocky legs. So just cutting those. I'm just going to go cut, and we're going to go distance, and we're going to go all. I'm going to look at it on an angle to make sure we do it right. Done. Cool. So now having a look, I'm pretty happy with that. Looks just like my example that I've made. And now what we're going to do is quickly constrain this leg so that it's attached to this cross halving point here. So I'm going to go to joint. Now this is a little bit more difficult. And that should only have the one body. It does. So I might select this. So yeah, we're going joint. For some reason I can't select that one. Don't know why. We'll figure that out. Oh, there we go. So once I've clicked on that, it somehow comes back up, which it's happy with. And then now I've selected the front corner. So I need to select the front corner in here for it to actually connect up appropriately. So there we go. And that's what we want. So way we can actually check this as well. So if we actually click off of, say we click onto that cross 2, you can see that it's all connected up appropriately there. Okay, so now what we're going to do, there's a few of the same parts in this. So obviously we're going to have the 4 same legs. Actually, what I've just realized I've forgotten as well now. So before I start copying these and have to redo stuff, I actually need to do some more cutouts. So as you would see, we had the acrylic inserts into the leg. Are you gonna snap? No. So 3.2 is the thickness for the acrylic. I think we're using 150. Whoa, something opened up. 150. Cool. And then because I haven't snapped it to the middle or anything, I can press D for dimension, and I can dimension it from the edge there and make that 15 millimeters. All right, and that's just going to give us a little bit of leeway there. And we're going to go to solid, extrude. Let's cut out this one. We're going to go cut, and we're going to go through all. Let's have a little bit on a diagonal to make sure we're doing it right. Because every time I don't do that, I'll tell you what, it doesn't work. There we go. We've got options now. As well, I mean, you have the option to begin with in terms of like cutting stuff out of this to give it a certain shape, which is fine. One other thing I might suggest is doing some like fillets to make it look a little bit smoother as well. So say I just do a 5mm one there. I might do a 5mm one on the foot as well, which it won't let me do. Don't know why. Let's just go okay. And let's try doing another fillet. Maybe it wants me to press on them first. Do that, and we'll do this one. 5. Beautiful. All right, so we've just done those. I don't mind, so say you're sanding that over, that little corner there's going to look nice in the main thing anyway. One thing that I haven't done as well is do any of the appearance stuff. So just pressing A for appearance didn't work. Oh, yes, it did. Cool. Just had to buffer a little bit. Just go to Fusion Appearances, and we're just going to use some wood. All right. These are going to be a little bit darker, not like mahogany dark or walnut. Probably more of like a cherry kind of darkness, if I kind of look at that. So we'll just quickly download this appearance here, and we can drag it on to our pieces, and we'll do that one as well. Actually, I might do a little bit of a different one. I'm gonna go oak for that. Oops, I forgot to download it first, which is always something that can either take 2 seconds or a long time. So we'll quickly download this, and then again, just drag and drop it, trying to make sure the whole thing highlights. So when I drag that on, the whole thing highlights. Or sometimes people will place it and they'll place it just on, say, that one face. So that's why it's important you do that. So now we're finished with that. We can actually copy this leg around and have our different versions of that. So we've obviously gone for our leg 1. Now I need to open this up and find the body. All right, and I can go Control C. And then we're going to open up leg 2. Press on that and go Control V. And now, before you joint anything, you always want to try to make sure that you're getting it somewhat in the right space before you start trying to joint it, because it'll be a pain in the butt if you don't. And I'm going to go OK. Now rotating this around, and we're going to go joint, and I need to see through here. I have found on this program, it's by far the easiest way of doing things if you doing things like through the corners. Seems to like jointing them a lot better. This is being a pain. Alright, so green's going that way, and so trying to also align, there we go, so what way those different colors are going also really helps. Sweet. And let's just check on the angle, trying to see if they're all the same height, which they are. So now we can go along, and we're going to just copy the body from leg number 2. You can right click on it as well and go copy, as well as cut. And now we're moving on to leg number 3. We're buffering a little bit, Control V. All right, and again, let's move this into position. Rotate. There we go. Cool. Okay. All right, now let's joint it into place. All right, so again, use the joint tool over here. Bottom corner seems to be my favorite one to use at the moment. And then to that bottom corner there, see how I've got the green, red, and blue all heading in the same directions. So when I click on that, it will shift effectively into that space. Okay, so now we're going to go leg 3, Control Z, oh, Control C, sorry, not Control Z. And we're going to select our leg 4 and press Control V. And then, yeah, let's move that one into place. Whoa, there we go. That's looking close enough. That'll work, okay. All right, and the lucky last one we're jointing together. We're doing this bottom corner again. And we're gonna, whoa. It's one thing that really frustrates me. Sometimes this jumps like crazy when you grab this cube. All right. All right, okay. Now what we can do is we'll quickly get this on the angle so it's looking nice, and we'll click on this one to see how it looks. Again, just having a look, make sure everything lines up. You see there at the top and the bottom, just checking everything is flush and accounted for. So we've got our basic wooden pot holder there, and then we do the acrylic afterwards. Now, the reality of it is that I found when you're doing the acrylic, like you're gluing these up, they're never going to be perfect. So if we make the acrylic on here, it's going to be slightly different and misleading. So let's have a bit of a look. So essentially what you'd be doing is having a look at, so we want the overlap to be approximately halfway through that. So all we need to find out is the distance between our cutout there. So if I go to inspect, I go from that corner to that corner, 109.602. So you can see there with all of this taken, it was not exact measurements, which is this in reality, you could make it about 10 millimeters because there's going to be a little bit of wiggle room for the acrylic, and then you could also, yeah, you got that 15 millimeters to go halfway through both pieces, making it 125 by 150 deep. But on this, it's just too hard because it's just so like microscopically like on the angle, makes it really hard. So you see there, we're done with that, and I'm fine to leave the acrylic plates out of it at the moment. One thing you could do, I guess, is when you're drawing them individually, just be working straight from these points and then just drawing it in from that. But that's going to be a real pain because you're going to have to do each one individually, and you can't just copy them over like I did with the legs. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go from design, we're going to go to drawing, we're going to go from design. And that is all fine. Okay, we'll go 3. And now this one, as always, takes a second to open up. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so now we're ready, and we're gonna position our front cover or front, yeah, our cover page. So what I'm going to be doing is want to have a angled view on the top. Hopefully we can find one of these is good. I'd love to just be able to like grab it and twist it, but I can't. Whoops. So we might just go one of these. Let's go that one, and when you go scale it to that. No, won't. To 2. It's half the size, so I have that one. And we'll go like that. And we'll go OK. We'll place another one in, and this one is just going to be like your straight up one that you can see like that. And we'll go 1 to 2 again, and when you go like that. Alright, so I might actually swap these over. So if you ever want to do that, you just double click on the outside edge. I'm going to change this one to show the hidden lines, and I'm going to show this one to not show the hidden lines because it's less confusing that way on the angle. So you can see there, you can just see the mortise and tenons basically, which is kind of what you really want to see anyway. So coming over here to our text, and we could be like this, like that, and we go year 9, pot plant stand, holder, even better. And I might go like that, and then highlighting the text, and when you go centered, and we're going to go a different one. I don't really mind what one, to be honest. And then we need to change our height to 25, which is way too big. Let's start 20. Perfect. I'm going to close that, and then we can grab this and move it around to where we want it to be. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to add another sheet in. And this is the one where we actually really need to start thinking about stuff, because we're going to do, so we'll do one of the cross halvings first. Might make that a little bit bigger. I think 3 is going to be perfect for this. So and click, and then we need our projected view from this to be the other way, and then we'll do our isometric like that. Move this one up here. Okay, cool. So now this is obviously where we're starting to take things out. So the easy way of doing this is if I hide everything, I've got that last one left. Okay, and while one's turned upside down, they obviously are identical. I'm going to go like that, close, and we can start putting in our dimensions. Let's move that down a little bit. So it's pretty self-explanatory with this one. As per usual, we do the full size, the length, and the width. Now, remembering when you zoom in, it does give you more options in terms of how far it will jut things out, like in terms of those snap points. So you see there, I just zoomed in, and it actually allowed me a lot nicer way of like letting it snap. We go like that, we go like that. So we've got enough there. We'll get this one, 15. Go this way, 2.5, 4. All right, cool. So I'm happy with that. And then we'll do our note. Is it a note or is there a different option? Maybe leader note would be better. No. Unfortunately, you've got to click on something for this. So we're going to go cross halving x2. Because you need to make 2 of them. We're going to highlight that, and we're going to make it 7. We could change the text, but honestly, I don't really care. So that'll be fine there. And then we can do the next one, which is going to be, we just need to do one of the legs, but we do need 3 views of the leg. So we're going to quickly rotate this actually. I want to have it right maybe. Yep. I'm going to have it lying down. When you go that way, when you go projected views, I'm going to have another one that way, and then another one that way, and then another one that way. Okay, move this one over here, and as we always do, add some color to it. All right. And then we can start removing so we'll close that one up there because we're working on this one here. We can get rid of that. We can identify which leg this is. We are aiming for that top one there like that. So we're going to get rid of these like that. And I wonder if I'm going to be able to get rid of it. Yep, so we can turn that one off too. Luckily enough, I'm going to move this up. That's in line with that, so I want that still like that. The only other thing we might want to do is make this a little bit bigger. Close that. That'll give us a little bit of. Oh, let's move this one there. Cool. Happy with that. So again, making sure putting all the best stuff in the appropriate dimensions in the right position. So you can see this, I'm going to do like total ones there. So like I said to you before as well, if I zoom in, that kind of shot heaps far away, I can grab it and I can move it up. If I zoom in there, so I no longer need to do now the overall length, I do the overall width, and then we can do some of these like angled ones. So I need to, so as I drag down there, it let me go horizontal. Sometimes you have to right click when you do that, and hopefully the next one will maybe do that so I can show you. Yep. You can see there, and I can just right click and go horizontal, and it'll allow me to show that there. Okay, we'll do that one. Will it let me? I have to zoom all the way in for that. All right, fantastic. And then we also need to do, yeah, we could do that as well. And that'll probably do there. So what I've actually just realized as well, so if I press OK, I'm going to need to double click on this guy, and I'm going to need to make it show invisible lines because I need to show the depth and width and stuff of the mortise. So let's mark this one out. All right, and then I just lost my mouse. There we go. And we'll do here as well. So now it goes in 10. And then this one's looking a little bit skinny. So I might add another measurement onto that one there. Okay, my mouse must be losing battery now. So we've got that there. So let's do a note. I'm going to click there. I'm going to go leg X4. All right, double clicking or triple clicking to highlight that. Change that to 7. All right, and close that now. All right, so they're literally all the pieces that we need, minus the acrylic that you should be cutting 125 by 150 to fit down there anyway. One other thing I would probably add is if I add in a full version here, let's make that like that, and I've made that smaller. Cool, and we go like that. We go projected there, and we'll go okay. We'll move that up a little bit. All right, so we can do a couple of these measurements on here, just because it's good to sometimes see how it all goes together. And from there to there, I'm going to go horizontal, vertical, sorry. 125, cool. And then from there to there, 150, which we already knew. And we might like, well, what's the distance between there and there? It's 140. And that overall size, we'll just do that. Cool. And I'm just going to leave it like that, just so you can kind of see some of those overall measurements together there. And then, yeah, we'd go export all sheets, okay. I'm going to export as a PDF, and we'll call it plant. What did I call it? Plant stand V2. Sweet, and we'll just save it in downloads for now. But yeah, that's the full putting together of that. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this. You've seen the end product, and I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, hopefully you've learned something, and you enjoy making yourself.